Brought to you by Penguin.
The Nightman by Jørn Lier Horst, read by Saul Reichlin. Chapter 1. Overnight the fog had come rolling in from sea, settling heavy as lead and changing everything around her into murky silhouettes. Hoisting her bag onto her shoulder, Vera Kvolsvik focused intently, staring into the greyish-white blur. She had walked the same route nearly every morning for almost 30 years now, and would have found her way to the little bookshop in the pitch dark. But this fog was worse than darkness. It transformed everything familiar and formed new shapes, shadows, and fuzzy edges. It was like a silent predator that came sneaking up on you from behind. She bowed her head and concentrated on her feet. With every step she took, her heels echoed on the paving stones of the town square. Apart from that, she was surrounded by solid silence. Pushing away the uneasy feeling, she tried to concentrate on the week ahead. A number of new books would be coming in. Books were her life, and the mere thought of a good book waiting for her at home made the day easier. Somewhere in the distance, a dog was barking. She could hear how it craned its neck to sound a warning or note of caution. She stopped and automatically clutched her shoulder bag with both hands as she looked around. All she could make out was the outline of the tall buildings that loomed around the square. 50 more steps, and she would be at her destination. The dog was silent now, but fear still had her in its grip. She was not alone. Somewhere out in the mist, a door creaked open, and light footsteps approached the street. A car door slammed, and an engine fired up. Not far ahead of her, a crow squawked loudly. Everyday sounds had become harsh and discordant. Vera bit her bottom lip. The cool, damp air held a taste of salt from the sea. The crow squawked again. The fog was heavy and sticky, clinging to her and making her feel clammy and sweaty under her jacket. She took one step, rummaging in her bag to get the shop key ready before she moved on. Then she stopped again, hesitating. In the midst of the grey-white haze, she could see the contours of something she had not noticed before. It looked like a bust or a memorial stone that someone must have placed in one of the raised flower beds over the weekend. At the same time, she realized that could not be the explanation. It was something else. Something terrifying. Taking another few steps forward, Vera Kvolsvik squinted into the mist, feeling her heart thump convulsively in her chest. Then she opened her mouth into a scream. Chapter 2. It was Monday, the 10th of November, 2008, and William Wisting was sitting at the kitchen table with a cup of coffee and some toast with strawberry jam. The time was 6:57 a.m., and he had already been awake for almost 2 hours. He woke earlier and earlier these days. To begin with, he had stayed in bed, staring at the empty space beside him. But after a couple of sleepless months, he had realized he was not going to be able to drop off again once he was wide awake, and had decided to get up. He swallowed down the dry bread with his coffee. Outside, the morning fog had taken over from the night darkness. It was one of those rare days with no breath of wind. The foghorn howled like an abandoned animal in the distance, reminding him of how quiet it was inside the house. Although he had not noticed it before, he saw that the leaves on the green potted plant on the windowsill were drooping. He got to his feet, stuck his finger in the pot, and stood rubbing the dry earth between his thumb and forefinger, wondering whether to give up on it. It deserves a second chance, he decided, and moved to the sink, where he filled a glass with water. He poured it into the pot and picked off a couple of brown, withered leaves. The morning...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?